Okay, we have a 2001 Buick Lesabre here. It has a 3.8 Series 2 in it. We're going to try to tackle these upper and lower intake gaskets on here. I'm not going to take much time to zoom in, zoom out, and show you each piece. I'm just going to give you a general step-by-step. Done a couple of these before, they're not terrible. Usually what I like to do is just start out with finding what I can remove first, just to get down to where we actually need to be as far as removing the gasket. So we're going to start by taking this engine cover off. Basically just twist this cap, replace the cap here, put that aside. And then, next thing we can do, I'm going to grab some tape and a Sharpie here. Next thing I like to do is I like to mark the wires here so that I don't have to guess where they go. As far as the ones that go across over the top of the upper plenum here gaskets. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark this as 1. Put a little T for me towards the top so I can leave yourself little breadcrumbs as you go. Makes it a lot easier. Just remove them from the coil. We're going to go ahead and wrap that masking tape around there so I can remember where that goes. And then 2. Two, and there's 3. Just little things you can do that really, when it's time to put everything back together, you're not, scrambling to try to figure out what wire goes where. Even mechanics, because I'm not a mechanic, but even mechanics to do this on a daily basis, some of them have to do this. It just makes the whole process go a lot smoother. All right, so now we got those. We can just fling those out of the way. We're not going to be dealing too much with them for a while. The next thing that I'm probably going to do is just going to start working on all this stuff up here. It's this vacuum line here. It comes off the side of the throttle body, and then the other vacuum goes to the fuel pressure regulator. This guy here should just push up. Now yours, you'll have to put a screwdriver down in here on the purge valve, more than likely, in order to obtain it, because mine was off and it's bent up, so it came off easier. So the vacuum line here, probably go ahead and try to take off this fuel line here. I can remember how to do it. There's going to be fuel pressure in it here, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. It could still be under pressure. Just got to figure out how to release that there. There's a little clip back here. Study that for a minute. Should have taken a look at that before I started the video just to see how that's going to come off, because sometimes they can be a little bugger here. The real process is trying to see what the hell you're doing. Okay, I got it off. Basically, it's hard to see, but there's a clip. You have to kind of work around the back of it and pop it out. Took off the return line, vacuum line. So I'm just kind of lay everything to the side. Now I'm going to start peeling back these sensors here, and we'll take off the mass airflow sensor plug. Got the throttle position sensor here. Idle air control valve. There's going to be a little wire clip here that will enable us to kind of get all this stuff unbuckled here. There's another one here up front. Figure out how to open it here. That just pulls up. That one just pulls up. We're finally getting somewhere here. Now we're going to unplug the injectors. Let's unplug down here is the temp sensor down here, down to the right of my hand. Unplug that. And let's see how the injectors come out. believe, pull up this blue tab up, and then you can push in. It's probably going to be where the fun's going to be. Yep, that's easy. So you lift up the blue tab on the injectors, and there's a tab right on the blue tab that's black. You push it in, but kind of push and pull up. That's going to be a bugger. Let's try to get this out of here. Let's just give me some more room here. Still working on that injector here. There we go. The key is, from what I'm seeing, is the blue tabs that are on the fuel injectors here. You want to try to get that tab up as high as you can, and that seems to be the trick to get it to, even if you take them out, it won't hurt it. You just pop it back in. That seems to be the trick to get these disconnected. Unplug the manifold pressure sensor. What else is hanging on back here? Most of this stuff can honestly just be kind of finagled out of the way. It's not really going to hurt much. Doesn't seem to be really an issue, so that's out of the way. Probably would help to take out the my guess is it would probably help take the coil packs off. I'm trying to take off as little as possible here. I don't really feel like tearing the entire car apart. Also a good idea, obviously, to disconnect the battery. I'm choosing not to. Just be careful if you don't, not to turn the key, because obviously the fuel pump will get activated. I'm going to take off the alternator, and I'm going to probably take off the bracket on the alternator too. That holds it, because there's coolant passages that go through it. So that's going to help tremendously too. But before we get too carried into that, let's see who the heck's here. Nobody. Okay. I'm going to start unbuttoning some of this. The air box here is just 2 clips. There's the air temp sensor. Just kind of let things fly. Things will just kind of sit where they want to sit, so it won't be a big deal. As far as reassembly, you get confused where stuff goes, mainly because everything should go pretty much back to where it belongs. Alright, so now we can move that out of our road. That kind of opens up a whole bunch of room there. I have to snip this zip tie here. It's on the top of the what is this, the detent cable, or looks like a detent or throttle cable or cruise control or something, I can't really tell. I'm just going to snip that zip tie off. We can always replace that later. Just kind of get some stuff maneuvered out of the way a little bit here. That's pretty much it here. Now, I don't have any security bits, so taking out some of these sensors, I'm going to try to avoid having to do that. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to try to get this throttle body off of here, because I'm going to have to get down to the EGR belt passage here. So I'm going to see what's all involved in getting into here. I'll just take this air filter out too. That could be changed. Definitely do for a good change. Looks like a 10 on that throttle body. I'm going to see, could be smaller than a 10 actually. We'll see here. Yeah, it's smaller than a 10 on this bracket here. These brackets are mother to get out. So, First, we got to loosen up that bracket. I'm going to try to sneak this in there. See if it'll let me save that. That should have a little bit of real estate with that. And now it's going to be a 10 millimeter. I already got all the parts, the lower, uppers, all that good stuff's all been purchased already for this. Take off this fastener off there. Some of these are a little bit tricky to get to. Figure out where the heck they're even at. Okay, I see the one down there. I might not be able to get in there with the ratchet. Let's see if I can get down any of that guy. Great if I could. Gorgeous. It really helps when you have the right tools for the job. Okay, I'm going to get a separate magnetic dish for the throttle body stuff. So these are going to be my separate dish for the throttle body fasteners. Where's the other one at? I might have to step in front of you guys. I apologize. Just can't see nothing at the moment. Found it. The throttle body's off. Has some cables and brackets. I'm going to try to just see if it'll let me maneuver it past this stupid bracket here. This is where having some security bits to take the sensor off is nice. I think the last time I just literally bent that stupid bracket. Okay. So the throttle body, I will clean later. I'm just going to let it sit here out of the way. It's not going to hurt anything. Next, what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off this bracket that is going to get in the way, which looks like it's nothing more than just a bracket that goes around for a cable tie for the EGR valve here. I'm going to put that in a separate location of the dish so I know where it goes. Okay. And that way, I know wherever the heck it goes. It looks like there's also, drink some gas here. The bracket, we could actually probably just leave it there. I mean, it'd be easier if I could get that out of the road, but it's not really hurting anything. So I'm going to set that aside for that. Now, next thing is probably going to be want to take this EGR tube off of the side of the intake, which you guys probably aren't going to see that, unfortunately. Looks like maybe a 13 if I were to take a, yeah, I guess I was right. I don't think it should be, hopefully not too tight. I'll get it on here. Okay. Now the next step is, in a couple minutes, now that I got that crack loose, I'm going to probably eventually in a couple minutes here start working on draining the coolant out. Because obviously that's going to be important, not to have coolant going everywhere. This isn't a terrible job. I know you can't see, so I'm trying to narrate the best I can. There's a bolt that holds this EGR tube in. You'll see what I mean once you're doing it. The tube should just push back just enough to give us the room we need. If it does not, which it does, so that should not be a problem. There we go. And it's flexible, so you can just bend it slightly. You don't want to go gorilla on it because you don't want it to get too bad. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is unplug these rear injectors on here, which I need my little pocket screwdriver. There it is. Lift up on these little blue tabs. Like I said, you don't necessarily take the blue tabs out, but it does help the further you get the blue tab out. I've learned that it helps to get these injectors disconnected. One came all the way out, not a big deal, it just pops back in if you accidentally go too far with it. Push that in. And keep in mind, I mean, these definitely have been out because I know from what I read, the service history on this vehicle, from what I read, already had at least the uppers, I think, done on here anyway. So, that's what I read anyway. Not sure how accurate that is, but yeah, see this blue tab popped out. Like I said, not the end of the world. Now I already did the valve cover gaskets on this, so at this point I'm pretty darn, yeah, am I making up words here? This one's missing a blue tab altogether, so that's another sign that somebody's clearly been in here. Pull it around. Let's see here. Hide from all the gas. Alright, so the injectors are unplugged. Now on the back here of the engine there's going to be a doodad in which that you have to release to get the brake booster hose off, and I believe the plan of attack with that last time, if I recall, was to, if I could see, the problem is with the sunshine and I actually can see less because it reflects. Now with the bright spring sun, it actually creates more like a shadow when you try to see what you're doing in here. Okay, so it's got to push in. Okay, so what I did last time was I actually used a pair of angle pliers here. I don't want to break it, but if I do, it shouldn't be the end all for this because I have another one with the kit. Dorman has a really good kit for this, which comes with all the replacements. The replacement upper intake, I should say, which is this plastic plenum, and I ordered the whole kit. It comes with all the intake gaskets, the throttle body gasket, and everything, so that's kind of cool. 66 bucks free shipping, Amazon Prime. If you guys aren't on Amazon Prime, I'd recommend it. I believe I have to get further back and get some real estate on here. I just wish I could see what I was out doing. See, this is a problem I ran into last time. Try not to get too carried away here with this stuff on camera because I don't want to take up 50 hours of footage, me disconnecting a line here, which you can't see what you're doing. That can quickly happen, unfortunately. Might have to get a longer screwdriver for that one. I'm sorry, I'm not as prepared as I should be for this one. Let's see if I can get in there and pop that tab closed. So I can, there we go. Okay, so that's the brake booster, which covered in oil and stuff too, which is weird. I'm just going to push it out of the back out of the way. I do, from the looks of it, have to take these brackets off back here anyway, so I guess I didn't really go too far doing stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and zip the alternator off now. Turn off my light. Which means I'm going to take the serpentine belt, yeah. Take the serpentine belt off. think you just have to do it using the bolt on the... Yeah, that's going to be rough. Let's see what size is that. That's going to be... Looks like it's going to be 15. Problem is, I might have to end up taking this water coolant. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I'm going to take this water coolant out of here. It's going to have to come out anyway eventually, probably. So this gives you a little bit more real estate by taking out the overflow reservoir here. Just so you can give us a little bit more room here. And what I like to do is just take and run these down just a few threads so you remember where they go. Like I say, you gotta leave breadcrumbs for yourself here. Alright, so now we should be able to get to the belt tensioner significantly easier. Take the belt off. I only need to take off this one. Okay, so next we're going to zip that pin off there, or that thing off there for the alternator, the nut for that. Looks like it's a 10. Should be. Yeah, there we go. And we'll put that right back on here in just a memento. That's why you disconnect the battery, kids. Alright. So that, you can run that over like that. And that can run down. Out of your way. Now, should be able to go ahead and zip off this bracket here. Where do I put the pin? Seriously? Oh, there it is. I'm going crazy here. Okay. And there goes the first bolt to be lost for the day. Fantastic. Alright. Stop you while I look for bolts. Alright. According to getting found the bolt, it just fell right there on the side there. So now we're going to, one more bracket to take that alternator off there. So, getting ahead of myself. I think that's a 15. Or is that a 13? Hell, actually. Let's see what it is here. It is a 15. Survey says 15. Hold this thing, jeez. Okay, got that loose. That one looks like it's going to fun. So it looks like the next thing we need to do is take the injectors off, the injector fuel rail, I should say. That looks like that's going to be our next step here. So let's see what size they are. What size do we think those are? 10? Not sure how many are on here. It's one. Back here. It's 2. It's 3. Let's see where else there's some at. Get some wires up and out of the way. It's 4. I think that's all that holds the injector. That's what it appears. So. Stupid screwdriver now. So the next thing we got to do is kind of gently try to pry these injectors out of here somehow. So it looks like they're coming out okay, so that's good. Back one's a little love. Just give it a yank like that. Alright, fuel rail is out. That's a big step. Now I can. That is out. Probably go ahead and get a separate dish for that. That's the point. It runs out of places. I have to get moved somewhere else at some point. And there, the injectors are out. Now, the next thing is to looks like there's one more bracket I might be able to work around, which I think I'm going to try to do. And much as I didn't want to do this, I think I'm going to have to take this coolant bracket off reservoir, which is where the coolant will start to come. So let me get a frying pan for that. Try to get that in there. I need a smaller one. That thing's going to start to pee. Perfect, okay. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and crack that loose then. I was going to avoid doing that, but looking at it, I think it's just going to be easier if we just take it off. Let's see here, what's on this? Especially when you got to put this intake back on, because there's these coolant elbows over here. They're just going to get on my nerves pretty quickly if they're not removed. All look the same so far. There's one under the tensioner here. Like I said, I know you can't see much, but you get the gist of it. You just gotta use your mind and work your way around here. I believe they're all the same size. I'll know here in a minute. Yeah, they're all the same, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Throw another pan under here anyway, because this is where most of the coolant's going to be leaking out of here anyway to go into the linen there. So I think that's all it's holding that in other than these elbows. So I don't believe there's any more screws. So yeah, and there's where the coolant is going to go down into them buckets there, which is working out perfect. I put them right in place. Okay, so now that we've gotten that far, we're almost to the big stuff now. Just gonna flap these wires down and out of the way. They're not getting in my road. I think we're just about clear. Like I said, I see one fastener back here I'm going to take off. It looks like a 13. If I can get on it, which is going to be hard to do because of the angle it's in. Let me try doing it with just the socket. This is a 13, it's a bracket here. That's going to be a wrench. That's what that's going to be. Unless, no, I don't know. I think I can get away without taking that off. I'm going to leave there's a bracket that goes along the side here. I'm going to opt to leave it on just for simplicity. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to whip off this this thing here for the this is going to be for the my words aren't coming out today. Might have to get some more. Yeah, I have to get some more muscle in that. This is the thermostat. Yeah, there it is. Holy cow. I have to get a little bit more power for that one. Yeah, there we go. Another catch pan in there. Break this ice out. key is like I was saying, is you want to leave yourself some breadcrumbs with this job. So I'm putting this in. I'm going to pull that thermostat out. That might help burp any remaining coolant out of it too. It looks pretty empty, so that's good. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so coolant thermostat was just replaced too, so I don't really plan on getting into that. Alright, now we're going to start taking off this upper intake here. Ooh. That was bizarre. Oh, that's broken. Okay, looks like I twisted up my little thingy here. That was weird. Well, I really wasn't expecting that. But no fear. Got another one. Alright, so the front left. Those are 8s. Some of those are small. Those are just 8s, those buggers. Okay. And if you are wondering, I did recently blow the engine off to get all the debris off of it. Yeah, that one's gonna be fun. What's that one all down to? Let's just get these out, zipped out.